Hey guys, thanks for checking out Griddle Guy's channel. This is our first video. Ironically, we're actually not going to be griddling, but I've been wanting to do this video for a while, so I figured I would. So today we're going to be making steak tips, which is something that I recently learned is actually a New England thing. I was talking to a friend of mine who's in Texas, and obviously beef is big in Texas, and I asked him what kind of marinade they liked for their steak tips, and he sort of said, "What the hell is a steak tip?" So I figured I would do a steak tip video and show you how to get really good steak tips at a really affordable price. So for you, those of you not from New England, what a steak tip is basically a piece of sirloin, small, slightly bigger than bite size, that takes well to marinate. It's very popular in the New England area with any number of marinades, teriyaki, steakhouse. There's a spicy one called Cannonball, but just to give you an idea of what it is, I grabbed a couple of our delivery pizza menus, and you see the steak tip dinner here. And here's another one. This is a different pizza place, and we have our dinners, steak tip dinner here with rice. So that's that. So this is what you buy at the local market for steak tips. So you can see it's sirloin, it's beef loin choice. It's basically strips of loin, sirloin. Comes from the bottom of the loin. It's heavily marbled, real strong grain. You can see that this is $8 a pound for USDA choice. At some of the more expensive butcher shops, steak tips marinated will run you anywhere from $14 to $16 a pound, which is really kind of crazy, I think. So if you're throwing a big party or if you're having a lot of people over, it can become kind of expensive. So in order to try to find cheaper beef, what I do is go to the big box stores. In my case, it's BJ's. If you're in another part of the country, it might be Costco. Walmart, I do not believe carries this, but this cut, the butcher's term for it is beef flap. So you can see beef loin bottom flap. Sirloin tips. Again, the sirloin tips is a New England thing, but this is also same thing as here, USDA choice. This is USDA choice down here, and it's $5.49 a pound. Okay, now yeah, it's kind of expensive, $102 for this honking bag of beef, but at $5.49 a pound, after you trim it, let's say that goes up to $6 a pound, $2 or $3 for the marinade. For like $6.05, you're going to get the same quality steak tips that you would get for $16 a pound at some of the butcher shops. So inside here is not one big piece of beef. It's a series of pieces of beef flap that are stacked on top of each other, then vacuum sealed. I'm going to cut this open and show you how to trim it up and tenderize it and basically turn it into that. So let me reset the camera and I'll be back. Okay, so you're gonna want to open this in a sink. You can see, this is wet packed, so you can see some of the meat juices. I don't really think of it as blood, but it's meat juices, and they're gonna run all over. So you're gonna want to open it, as you see, right in the sink. Okay, here we go. So yeah, like I was saying, there's a lot of moisture that comes out of that. So you want to take it out of the bag in a sink. And although it looks like one giant piece, it's actually not. So see, as you peel it apart, it's a bunch of pieces that look like that. Okay? So I'm going to get these one by one up on the cutting board. Set the camera up. And here's where you start trimming. So let me grab my knife. This white stuff is what has to come off, okay? And just like removing silver skin from anything, pretty much all you do is just fish your knife under it, angle the blade up slightly, and just draw it across, okay? See? And that's what you want to get rid of. That's real tough, real chewy. So you want to clean that up as much as you can. We'll do a few more cuts here so you guys can see. Now, one of the things about the flat meat, and one of the reasons that it's actually good for making steak tips, is if you look, it's got a really pronounced grain. See it here? So that grain really sucks up marinade. But it can also make it a little bit chewy. So it depends on how you cut it. And I have a little trick for tenderizing it that I will show you. So let me finish cleaning this up and I will be back. So that's pretty well cleaned up. Kind of looks like a giant skirt steak, doesn't it? Right? So what we're gonna, this is too big to trim into this. So what we're gonna do is just take this right in half. Right, that guy there. And what we want to do is cut strips of beef across the grain. Grain's going this way right now. So we're just going to cut this into about 2-inch strips of beef. Right? Just like that. Okay? This is what you're going to put on your grill. Okay? You're going to grill it like that. And after it's cooked to your liking, medium rare, well, whatever, you're going to cut this. And this is your steak tip, okay? But don't cut them into this size yet. You want to leave them in big strips like this. So you're going to take this one and take that right down like that, okay? So that's it. So you see all the grain, marbling. There's 3. This is discard. Those over there. Take this piece. Again, cleaned up most of the fat, most of the silver skin. And you're going to go against the grain. There's one. And this will split into 2. Alright, I'm going to do the rest of these and I'll be back. I just had a thought I should show you as I pull out the next piece. Yes. So here's the other pieces that are still in the sink. Just going to grab the next one and peel it off. And here's my neighbor. What's up? Welcome home.
How you doing?
Okay, so that's the last piece. I trimmed up everything, and so here's the pile of trimmed stuff. I haven't sliced it all yet. Here's the last piece. I just want to show you again how pronounced the grain is, okay? Because that's going to be important with how we tenderize them, which is what I'm going to do next. See the grain? You see it running here? All right, so you can cook those, cut them into strips like this, cook them, cut them up, and serve them just like that. Or to make them more tender, I actually use, where'd it go? I use this, which is called a, the name on here, Jacquard meat tenderizer. And the reason I like it is, you see all those blades? How they have a sloped cutting edge right on the front? So I use that sloped cutting edge across the grain of the meat. And what it does is it cuts those fibers. Let me just pull this back. Ouch. Pull it back with my finger. I can't pull it back, but you run those teeth across the fibers and it slices those long chewy fibers into short, tender pieces. Okay? Watch. All right, so there you have it. There is $20 worth of sirloin flat meat bought from the supermarket versus $100 of the same thing, ready to be marinated and tossed on the grill, which I am not going to do in this video, but we will do probably in another video. I should mention, this particular steak tips, I know this is Griddle, guys. Ironically, this is something that I don't necessarily prefer to cook on the griddle. You can cook it on the griddle. You want to do it on a medium-high heat. But I find with a lot of the... This one's okay. It's kind of flat, so you can kind of get that one cooked. But with a lot of them that are, irregularly shaped, say like this one, it's kind of tough. How do you get this edge cooked, and how do you get this edge over here cooked? Because you can kind of balance it, but then do you roll it? The other thing is with a wet marinade, if you do like a teriyaki marinade, or in this case I have this marinade going over here, which is called Cannonball, which is super spicy. But with the wet marinade, you put it down on your hot griddle, you get a lot of moisture that comes out of the beef, mixes with the wet marinade, and it can mess with your patina. It can also kind of have a steaming effect on your beef instead of a charring effect. So it just takes a little bit of getting used to. You can do it on the griddle. I think my preference is a charcoal grill. Second to that would be a really hot gas grill. And then lastly, I would do it on the griddle. But anyways, this is how you get really tender sirloin flat meat if you're not in New England, steak tips if you are in New England, for $5.49 a pound instead of $8, $9, $10, or $15 a pound. The other thing with the $15 a pound ones, the ones that are already marinated, you're actually paying for the marinade. So if it's a pound of steak tips, it's probably going to be like, say, 3/4 of a pound of beef, and then you get 1/4 a pound of whatever the marinade is. So you're literally paying $15 a pound for liquid, whatever they soak the steak tips in, as opposed to if you do it yourself, whatever, $2-3 for a bottle of something from the market. Anyways, if you like this video, like, subscribe. Hopefully we'll be putting more up, or we plan to put more up soon. Appreciate you watching our channel. Appreciate you checking us out. Thank you. So I just wanted to show you guys the finished product. This is after they're marinated, or they're sitting in their marinade now. I got about 4 bags. That's going to be for a party tomorrow. Got about 30 guys coming, so I'm going to do marinated steak tips, sausages, potato salad, pasta salad. That should be more than enough steak for everybody to have at least a half pound of steak. So, all right, like I said, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.